Hi, this is Daphne and this video is about my low buy for Q1 2023. To be honest, I have been putting off making this video, which is probably obvious by the date that it's coming out in the middle of May. And basically that's because I haven't been sure what I want to say about the experience. I've been thinking about it a lot, but I haven't reached many conclusions. First, I'll go through the results, and the results were good in the sense that I didn't buy much at all. A couple of the things here that you can see on screen are things that I bought, and some of the things off to the side are pens and tapes that I didn't find when I did my first video about my low buy. So just to recap about what was in that video, and I talked about what I wasn't going to buy, and that is stationery, clothes, bowls, because I have a thing about bowls, any sorts of beauty products, and I think that was the main categories. And I called it a low buy because I knew that I could buy something and I didn't want to feel like if I did buy something it's all over, have that all or nothing kind of attitude about it. And overall I'm very happy in terms of not spending a lot of money. So I'll tell you what I bought here. I bought this cute notebook from the Happy Planner, and also, this may seem a bit ironic, I bought a budgeting guided journal, I think they called it, which I guess it is amusing to spend money to save money, but it has been very helpful, so I will talk about it a little bit. And the other thing I bought was a jacket, and it's sort of I guess you call it a quilted jacket that is good for the weather. That's between when I need to wear my winter coat and my raincoat. So it's pretty much all year round you need some sort of coat where I live, and it's a nice in-between coat. And I'll put a picture up on the screen. And I bought that jacket at the end of the winter season, and it was half price. It was 650 krona from Arket, and I've used it a lot. It's great, and I've been thinking of buying something like that for years, so I'm very happy to have found it. And it's in the oversized style that's fashionable now, so I can easily fit something underneath. It's very light, and I think it's made from recycled materials, which is always a plus. I'll give you a quick flick of the notebook. It's very cute. It's from a collection that came out quite a while ago. I think it was called Cozy Pet Critters, or Cozy Critter Pets, or something like that. And it's just a classic sized notebook, and the dividers are very cute. The pages are all the same, so on one side they're a blue dot grid, and on the other side the same dot grid but white paper, with a quote down below, "Remember to be kind to yourself," next to a nice black cat. Have a look at the dividers. Cute poodle. And another pink cat. That'll be exciting. And I had been thinking about getting this for ages, almost a year I would say, and I love it. I haven't worked out what I'm going to use it for, but I do love it, and I do use notebooks a lot. Now this one is probably more relevant. Yeah, I think it was called I'll see if I've got a tag still in here. A budget layout guided journal. And it has been very helpful. I haven't used all the pages, as you can see. And perhaps as I go through, I'll talk about how I've used it and my thinking about spending these days. A page for goals that you can set, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Note page on the back. This is a bill schedule, and it has the months of the year across the top, and I guess you can, if you have annual bills like insurance, you can write them down there and keep a record or plan ahead when they're due. And a savings tracker, essentially like a spreadsheet or a balance sheet for savings. And you might be able to tell that this journal is designed to be used over 4 months. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't been using those. Been reviewing the budget every month, but I think having these prompts is very helpful if you have no idea where to start. And I also found it very helpful to speak to my husband about the budget and finances, because it gave some structure to the conversation. And talking to your spouse about money can become really emotional really quickly, and they help to avoid that. Debt tracker, which is like the savings tracker. 2 pages of that. I don't have anything like that I need to worry about right now. And I'll show you a blank month, because I think that'll be the easiest way to understand. It's just got some colourful dividers. Well, I guess that's not very colourful, but so each month there's some prompts to help you think about the upcoming month and where you will need to spend money and actions you need to take so that you have enough money. Then another sort of spreadsheet, budget layout that's divided into categories, and that can be helpful because, like I said, sometimes you just don't know where to start, and it gives you some categories to think about and focus your thoughts and your planning. And we have been using this, and it's a good way to get an overview and have a conversation with someone about what's going on. Then there's some no spend trackers, which are like habit trackers, and some more prompts to reflect on how the month has gone with regard to the no spending trackers. And then each week has a weekly expenses tracker, and then some more prompts for reflection. And even more prompts. So these are daily prompts, which I haven't kept up with because it's quite a lot. But I can see how it's very helpful if you have a lot of emotions around your finances. It can help to break it down so that you can just deal with one aspect of all these emotions at a time. And also they're good prompts for conversation as well, even if you have older children, to talk to them about finances, because I think it's simple to understand the idea of don't spend more than you have, or think carefully about how you spend, but I think having the skills to deal with all the emotions that come with that, and managing that is part of managing your money, which is not really something that we talk about much. I think it's more common nowadays, but yeah, I think people think, oh, it's about arithmetic, you know, what comes in, what goes out, and that sort of thing, but there are a lot of feelings involved, and I think this guided journal is helpful in that way, in that it asks specific questions, and you can think about things in I guess in the guided way, but not everything all at once. So there's questions like, where did you see temptation? How did you overcome it? And each day has a daily gratitude and lessons learned or a small victory. What is inspiring and motivating you to financially plan? What is one action step you can take to maintain that motivation? When you think about financial freedom, what comes to mind this week? What small steps can you take this week to eventually reach that goal? What else do we have? What positive habits have you adopted during your financial journey? How can you continue to hold yourself accountable for this habit? What small change did you make today? How was today different because of that change? What emotions do you feel when you spend money? Whether those emotions are positive or negative, how can you work through them to achieve your goal? Reflect on the past week. Is there any constructive feedback you can give yourself for the coming week? And then it starts again through the cycle of the week. So I think there were 4 cycles for each month behind each divider. And there are little quotes, I guess, reminder you were doing great, that sort of thing. Reminder, focus on the now. So I think I haven't seen many products like this. I've seen a lot of more things that are like this, like I guess not a spreadsheet, like a accounting table, and they are helpful in a very practical way. But I think often when we have issues with money, there are feelings involved. So I think it's helpful to be able to talk about them and reflect on them, and then, you know, get yourself into a better place with regard to money. And on that note, that was a big part of why I wanted to challenge myself to restrict my spending on these particular areas, because I felt like it was very closely related to my feelings and managing anxiety and things like that, and I just don't think it's a practical way to do it in the long term. So obviously you feel better if you're looking forward to something coming in the mail and things like that, a present for yourself, but it doesn't really take away what's causing the anxiety, or it's not practical in the sense that, you know, you might have stuff just piling up on spending money that you don't need to, that you can spend on something more helpful to your life. And I think it's like a short-term view of enjoying life and finding peace with yourself and your self-esteem and things like that, how you value yourself. And there's a lot of language around that where, you know, you should buy it, you deserve it, and I think that can be unhelpful to your self-esteem when maybe you hit some sort of bump in the road and at the moment you can't afford it, and so you think, oh, that's because I'm less than, and that's just not true. What you own or what you want to own, material things like that, is not your value as a person. And I just felt like I was getting sucked into that thinking, and I really didn't want to, because those are not my values. I know that's a bit intense, but yeah, that's what it was about. Okay, and here are some tapes, and this is a bag of pens that I missed out in my first video where I talked about doing this low buy for Q1. I went through my collection of washi tapes and pens, and then afterwards I found a few hiding away somewhere. So I'll go through these, and I'll also talk about some other strategies that I am thinking about doing or am doing to help with those ideas I guess, living more according to my values and feeling better about myself. Yeah, so let's get started on the pens. There is, I think, every single one of these Pentel Food Air Touch pens. I love these pens. They're a lot of fun and I like having all the different colours. Perhaps there's more, but I think I have plenty. I like to use them in my planner. I like to use them on birthday cards if I make a birthday card, things like that. Oh, and one of the other strategies that I have been using is to try and be more creative. So to connect with myself in that way. And so doing things like more photography, and because I really enjoy photography, and especially at this time of year because I love taking photos of flowers, and do some more drawing and of course decorating in my planner. And I also made a reel that was in that Wes Anderson trend, and that was heaps of fun. And trying to find things like that that are really fun and uplifting, that's not about buying myself a present kind of thinking. So just enjoying life a different way. And I guess on that note, also being conscious of being grateful, so gratitude journaling, and also practical habits like trying not to browse online shops as recreation, because I think I was doing that a lot, especially during the pandemic. I think a lot of us did that sort of thing. Okay, these were bought I think before the pandemic. It's like a washi tape set. This one with whales and fish. Oh, there we go. This one's really nice. There we go. And very appropriate for summer. It's little frames with a swimmer. So cute. Some skinny ones in the same theme. Whoops. Splatter pattern. These look like waves. This, I don't know. The rest seem very sea themed. This one, I don't know, maybe that's seaweed. I don't know. And I have the same kind of set but in the green. There we go. All different widths. Another packet of this Bande tape, and it's not really tape, it's like stickers on a roll. It's really cool. All these different shapes. Okay, these are Christmas tapes. Oh, we'll do this one first. Forgotten where this came from. It's very interesting. I guess it's like a collage. These were not what I expected when I ordered them online. They're essentially, there's a cute little Christmas tree. They are tapes, but they're stuck on a piece of plastic. You can see the Christmas thing there. And they're, what's the word? They're cut away. So I think I expected them to be separate stickers, but it's all joined together. And for some reason, I decided I needed 3 different versions of this. There we go. So I have been using these, but of course Christmas only comes once a year. These are a bit pearlized. These are also a bit pearlized. Oops, here we go. It's a bit tricky to see because I'm filming with artificial light today. Or this evening, I should say. I think that's everything. So if you have any tips or things to read, things like that, that can help with, I guess, changing my mindset and changing, I feel like I have changed my behavior quite a lot, but I still have a lot of feelings like, oh, I want to buy that because I want the present, I want the excitement, things like that. And want to get away from that thinking, and sometimes I think it's a bit like quitting smoking or something like that. It's not quite, you know, the chemical addiction of nicotine, but some similar strategies can be used. I did read this article for quitting smoking, and it had these 5 Ds, which I think were delay, drink water. I'll link it below in case you're interested. Discuss with someone else about this urge you have to, well, in that case was smoke, but you know, it can be, like I said, I've found it helpful to discuss with my husband about the finances. What were the other things? Distract, so just choose to do something else, and deep breathe. I think that was 5. And I have gone through phases of doing meditation and yoga, and I don't know if I noticed much difference, because I think it takes time. It takes time to feel those differences, and the habit of shopping for fun has been for a long time. And I'm also thinking about keeping an eye out for transferring the behaviour. So, you know, am I eating more chocolate to manage my anxiety, which is not long-term, you know, not a strategy I want to use. I want to find healthy strategies for coping with stress, and just having a mindset that's about enjoying life more. And so going forward, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not sure what the boundaries are going to be. I think when I started out, I had unrealistic expectations of kind of reaching this Zen state where I don't desire any of the things, which is a bit, well, that would require a completely different lifestyle, and I'm not there yet. I'm not becoming a Buddhist monk or something like that. So I haven't worked out what the boundaries going forward are. I'm thinking about not buying any new clothes before the end of the year, unless I need to replace something like my raincoat or something like that. Partly because I want to change my own mindset, and also I think there is a lot of messaging that you need something new or more when you don't really. And it's of course better for the environment if I'm not consuming as much. And I'm hoping that over time, if I continue to control the shopping behaviour, that the urges will become less, and I will have a different mindset. But I'm not sure whether having this sort of no spend on all the things that I like is the answer. So I will do another video when I work out those boundaries, but I thought it would be the end of Q2 before I work that out. So I'll keep you updated. Please leave a comment or give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. There's my thumb. And thanks very much for watching. See you.